back to you from beautiful North Carolina. We're down south for a little bit for the holidays. We're going to do a little riding. But today I'm going to tell you a little story. It's a story about when I was a younger man. 19, 18, 19, probably 19. Yeah, I think I was 19. Alright, so I'm riding this here Harley-Davidson motorcycle. Heading home from college. Took the long way home. I wanted to have a little fun. Not too much different than anything that I do to this day. Excuse me one moment. So I'm riding along, minding my own business. There's this Jeep towing a trailer, and I don't know, the trailer was swaying a little bit, and just like, it didn't really look like a good setup, so I'm like, I'm getting the heck around this guy. Plus, you know, I'm on a bike, so I don't want to be stuck behind a trailer, so there's also that, but I just genuinely wanted to get around this guy too. So I'm like, okay, let's make that happen. So I, you know, passing lane, got out, passed, blah, 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 no big deal. Kind of a road like this, really. I come back in my lane, and I'm just having fun, so I keep my hand in it a little bit. Let off, shift up into fifth, and just kind of coasting down over the crest of a real gradual hill. So I really wasn't blind, but probably, you know, should have slowed down sooner, but I didn't. There's a cop at the bottom of it. I'm like, son of a gun. So I'm coasting down, losing speed, and then like I just lay on my brakes lightly, and I'm like, man, if I get lucky here, if he can't get a lock on me, I should be in pretty good shape, you know, because it was relatively hard for him to get a lock, I think, quickly based on the way the terrain was. So I kind of braked, not super hard, but hard enough. I'm like, he might have got me at like 70 in a 55, which honestly in New York State is usually not enough to get you pulled over, believe it or not. So I'm like, all right, I might get lucky here. So I'm coming up on him, and I'm pretty far away at this point still. I'm coming up on him, and now, of course, I'm, you know, close to the speed limit. And I plan on taking a right-hand turn that he was just parked next to. I was literally going to take the right-hand turn, just because it's like it's a more fun road home. And it's not even that much longer, it's just a lot more fun. So I take that right-hand turn, which is like parallel with where he's parked, on the left-hand side of the road. And he doesn't move. He didn't even turn his lights on. So I'm like, okay, maybe he just was sleeping on the job. I'm like, I'm good, right? I mean, if the dude didn't turn his lights on, by that point, I mean, we're talking a solid 10 whole seconds between when he would have presumably locked on me and when, you know, he saw me. I mean, I practically waved at the guy and gave him a head nod. I mean, I didn't, but it's like, I just was like, I'm like, he's going to get me or he's not, right? I mean, it is what it is, and I'm just like, I'm going to take this route, and if he pulls out of me, great. If not, great. So he does, you know, no lights or anything. So I'm like kind of surprised he didn't pull out on me. And so as I'm going down this road, I'm just like going like under the speed limit almost, because I'm like, there's no way this guy didn't pull out on me. Sure enough, he throws his lights on finally, crosses the road, and comes after me. And I'm like, okay, good. So I immediately pull over, and he takes him like 10 seconds to catch up to me, because I'm like kind of far away at this point. So he catches up to me. He like immediately jumps out of the car, and he's like, give me your keys. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? So I take the keys out, and I give them to him. And he's like, you tried to run from me. And I'm like, whoa, my guy. I'm like, what? Like the surprise in my face. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, I've been a police officer for 30 years, yada, yada, yada. You were trying to run from me. And I'm like, he's a small town cop, whatever. And I'm like, dude, like, I was not trying to run from you. And I almost felt like, I did not say this to him. I felt like saying to him, you haven't seen me ride this bike, my guy. This is a curvy road ahead. If I was trying to run from you, I would have been gone. You would have never seen me. And I'm not that far from home. So he asked me, he's like, yeah, where do you live? And I'm like, yada, yada road. And he said, what the heck did he say? Oh, he's like, oh, you wouldn't have gone this way. You were trying to run from me. And I'm like, this is just a more fun way to go. Like, it's not that much longer. But he couldn't understand that a motorcyclist would go 2 miles out of their way to take a more fun route home, yet motorcyclists freaking go out of their way all the time to have more fun. I mean, we just go on rides to nowhere. That's nothing new for a motorcycle. But if you've never ridden one, you wouldn't really know that, right? So I'm in this big misunderstanding with this guy, and I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? I'm going to wind up in handcuffs. So he pulls the registration of my bike, or looks at the plate. He's looking for the inspection sticker. It's inspected. Looks at the registration. It's registered. It's insured. He's like, oh, like I think he was thinking I might have stole the bike or something. And he's like, He pulls my record. Realized I have a perfectly clean record. And I think he finally saw the camera on the helmet, because like I kind of saw his eyes shift, and he completely changed his demeanor. Like it was night and day difference. And he was like suddenly super respectful and treated me like an adult and whatever. And I'm like, wow, like I really was thinking about it. And I'm like, this guy came in hot and heavy and probably technically broke the law by asking me to give me his keys. And I think he knows he was on camera doing it now. And honestly, guys, I don't even know if I saved the footage, so I could look for it, but I'm probably not even going to post it because I don't want to stir up trouble. But anyway, he caught me doing 81, which I'm actually surprised he got a lock when he did. Honestly, touche to him for getting me at 81, because I thought he would have gotten me at 70 something. But anyway, so I'm like, okay. I'm like, I'm thinking to myself, just write me the damn ticket. Don't accuse me of running. Like, I'll figure this out. So he comes back again. He had this whole change of heart. He's respectful now. He comes back and he's like, oh, he's like, I wrote you for parking on the pavement. It's a two pointer on your license or whatever. And I'm like, or no, I'm sorry. He wrote me for a disobeying a traffic control device, like a stop sign or a red light. So that's what he wrote me for, and he's like, 2-pointer on your license. He's like, just pay it. If you argue it in court, they can see that I wrote it down from 81 and they can charge you the whole amount. And I'm like thinking to myself, I'm like, yeah, that's definitely not true, but okay. So anyway, we go our separate ways. Again, he's cordial. I accelerate away, blah, blah, blah. So I get home. I email him our family lawyer. Our family doesn't have a lawyer, but a guy my dad knew. And I email him, and I'm like, here's what happened, blah, blah. Gave him the ticket. And long story short, I wound up paying $100-something to the state of New York, or the county, $100-something to the lawyer, and I had no points on my license. And I learned a very valuable lesson as a 19-year-old. First of all, just pull over for the police immediately, more immediately than I did, because apparently they will accuse you of running with almost really no evidence of it. Okay, fine. And then get yourself a lawyer, because it will help you. And not having points on your license is worth almost any amount of cash that you can reasonably afford. Thanks for watching. God bless America, and I'll see you in the next one.